She jokingly told me she cheated once before, but learned the lesson. I ignored the red flag. Months later, I found proof she'd done it again. So I made sure everyone knew the truth. She lost everything within days. Hey, Jason here. I met Amber at Marcus's barbecue back in July. She showed up late wearing this yellow sundress, carrying a six-pack of Corona, and within 10 minutes, she had everyone laughing at some story about her roommate's disaster Tinder date. Magnetic, you know? The kind of girl who walks into a room and immediately owns it. Everyone gravitates toward her without even realizing they're doing it. We got to talking by the grill. She was smart, funny, quick with comebacks. I like that she didn't play coy or do that whole demure thing some girls do. She said what she meant, laughed loud, didn't apologize for taking up space. We exchanged numbers before she left. That first week we texted constantly. Memes, jokes, random shit at 2 a.m. when neither of us could sleep. I thought I'd found something real. On our third date, over margaritas at this sketchy Mexican place on Vine, she mentioned she'd cheated on an ex once. Just dropped it casually, like she was confessing she'd once shoplifted gum. Said she felt terrible about it, learned her lesson, all that. I felt this little twist in my gut, but I pushed it down. I mean, people make mistakes, right? I wasn't going to be that judgmental asshole who couldn't forgive someone's past. She seemed genuine about regretting it. Her eyes got soft when she talked about it. Said she never wanted to hurt anyone like that again. Things moved fast after that. She stayed over most weekends. We'd cook together. Well, I'd cook, she'd drink wine and make commentary from the counter, occasionally taste testing and declaring everything needed more garlic. Sex was good. She laughed at my jokes. We fell into this comfortable rhythm that felt easy, natural. But these little things kept popping up that I couldn't quite shake. Like how she'd flip her phone face down whenever I walked into the room. Or the way she'd get all touchy with guys at parties, hand on their arm, leaning in close, that laugh she reserved for flirting. When I mentioned it once, she said I was being insecure, said I needed to trust her. So I swallowed it, told myself I was being paranoid, that this was my own baggage talking. Then the late nights started. She'd text saying she was working late or out with her girlfriends, but her location would show her at some bar across town. When I'd ask about it the next day, she'd get vague. Oh yeah, we ended up there, you know how it is, one place led to another. The details never quite lined up, but I didn't press. Part of me didn't want to know. Part of me was curious how far it would go, like watching a car crash in slow motion. Marcus threw another party in September. I got there early to help set up the speakers, arrange chairs, stock the coolers with ice. Amber arrived an hour later and immediately gravitated to this guy, Derek, from her gym. I watched them from across the patio. Her hand kept touching his chest when she laughed. His hand rested on her lower back way too long. They disappeared inside together for 20 minutes. When they came back, her lipstick looked smudged and Derek had this smug expression that made my stomach turn. I didn't say anything. Not that night. I went home, lay in bed staring at the ceiling, and told myself I was reading too much into it. 3 days later, I was grabbing beers with Tom, mutual friend, and he mentioned something casual about Amber being at Derek's place the previous weekend. He said it like I already knew, like it was totally normal. I just nodded, kept my face neutral, changed the subject. But that twist in my gut came back, sharper this time, impossible to ignore. Then Sarah, Tom's girlfriend, sent me a screenshot last Tuesday. No preamble, just the image and a message saying she thought I should see this. It was from a group chat Amber was in with some other girls. The text read, LOL, I shagged Derek last night. He couldn't resist. Don't tell anyone. Timestamp from 3 days ago. The night she told me she was working late on a presentation. I stared at that screenshot for probably 10 minutes. I didn't feel angry exactly. More like numb. Cold. Like something inside me had switched off. I saved the image to 3 different places: phone, email, cloud drive. I wasn't going to lose this evidence. Here's the thing. This stopped being about me and Amber somewhere along the way. This became about Derek's girlfriend Emma, who I'd met twice and seemed really nice. This became about whatever pattern Amber had going, whatever trail of bullshit she was leaving behind her. I wasn't going to rage or cry or beg for explanations. I was going to expose her and end this cycle.
Hey there, I'm Amber. I know how this sounds, but Jason was just there. Always there. Always asking how my day was, always texting back right away. Always so goddamn predictable. Nice guy, sure. Stable. Safe. Boring as hell. The kind of guy who plans date nights 2 weeks in advance and thinks surprising me means picking a different restaurant than usual. Derek, though. Derek had this edge. That cocky smile. The way he'd lean in too close when we talked at parties. Like he didn't give a shit who was watching. His girlfriend, Natalie, never had a clue, you know? She'd be off getting drinks or talking to her boring friends while he and I would just look at each other, and I'd feel that little rush in my stomach. The good kind of dangerous. The kind that makes you feel alive instead of just existing. The night it happened, I didn't even think about it. We were all at Marcus's place, music too loud, everyone drinking too much. Natalie passed out early, lightweight, always was, and Derek and I ended up in one of the back bedrooms just talking at first. About nothing really. About everything. Then not talking. It was easy. Natural. And honestly, it felt powerful. Like I could have anyone I wanted and no one could touch me. Like the rules everyone else followed didn't apply to me. I texted Becca the next morning. Had to tell someone, you know. Told her everything. How Derek practically begged for it. How Jason had no idea. How Natalie would literally die if she found out. Becca thought it was hilarious. She sent back like 5 crying laughing emojis. We went back and forth for like an hour, me giving her all the details, her eating it up. I mean, we were just talking shit, the way girls do. Private conversation between friends. Nobody else was supposed to see it. I wasn't worried about Jason. He'd been clingy lately anyway, always wanting to know where I was, who I was with. Like he didn't trust me, or something. Please. If he was so insecure, that's his problem, not mine. Besides, I told him straight up on our first date that I'd cheated before. He chose to stay. That's on him. He knew what he was getting into. The thing is, guys cheat constantly. All the time. They brag about it. High-five each other, call it a conquest. No one bats an eye. It's just locker room talk, boys being boys, whatever bullshit excuse they use. But when a woman does it, suddenly everyone's clutching their pearls. It's such bullshit. I'm just doing what men have done forever, having some fun, keeping my options open, not settling for boring when exciting is right there. I saw those screenshots floating around a couple days later. Becca sent me one, said someone was sharing them in a group chat. I laughed it off. Girls talk. That's what we do. It's just gossip, nothing serious. Half the people spreading them probably had their own secrets anyway. Who cares? It would blow over. Everything always does. Jason didn't say anything about it. Didn't even bring it up. We hung out that weekend like normal, watched a movie at his place, ordered Thai food. He seemed fine, maybe a little quiet, but fine. See? No big deal. Everyone would forget about it in a week. They always do. People have short attention spans. Something else would happen. Some other drama would take center stage, and this would just fade away. I liked the attention, honestly. Walking into rooms and knowing people were talking about me. Knowing the guys wanted me and the girls were jealous. It's not arrogance if it's true, right? I could feel their eyes on me and I just smiled. Let them look. Let them talk. Let them whisper behind their hands like I couldn't see them doing it. What were they gonna do anyway? Cancel me? We're not teenagers. Adults move on. Adults forgive and forget. This wasn't going to stick. I was wrong.
I didn't make a big announcement. Didn't write some manifesto. Didn't call a meeting or send individual messages. I just opened the group chat. You know, the one with everyone from college, all our mutual friends, maybe 40 people total, and I posted the screenshots. All of them. The ones where she bragged about Derek. The ones where she called me stable and boring, like those were insults. The one where she laughed about how I had no idea. The one where she talked about which guy she was going after next like she was shopping for shoes. Then I typed, "For anyone who needs clarity, make your own judgment." And I put my phone down. Walked away. Made coffee. Didn't check it for a solid 15 minutes. The first 10 minutes? Nothing. Radio, silence. I figure maybe nobody was online. Maybe they were all at work. Phones on silent. Then my phone started buzzing. And buzzing. And buzzing. I picked it up and watched the messages flood in like a dam had broken. Nobody knew what to say at first. A few shocked face emojis. Someone sent question marks. Then Tyler wrote something like, "Holy shit, dude." Then Sarah, who's been friends with Amber since freshman year, wrote, "This is real? Is this actually real? Someone tell me this is fake." I didn't respond. Didn't need to. The screenshots spoke for themselves. They had timestamps. They had context. They had Amber's own words, her own admissions, her own mockery of everyone who trusted her. Then it got ugly. Jess, whose boyfriend Amber had apparently joked about going after next in one of the screenshots, absolutely lost it. She started ripping into Amber right there in the chat. Called her a snake. Said she couldn't believe she'd trusted her. Said she'd defended her to other people who'd called her shady. Other people chimed in. Some of the guys went quiet, probably realizing they could have been targets too. Nobody wanted to be the next boring boyfriend she got bored of. Nobody wanted to be the punchline in her next group chat confession. I watched it unfold like I was reading the news. Detached. Calm. Clinical, almost. I didn't need to scream. The truth screamed for me. I didn't need to convince anyone of anything. The evidence was there. They could all see it with their own eyes. The shift happened fast. Like within days. Amber stopped getting invited to stuff. Plans would get made in the group chat, and her name just wouldn't come up. People stopped tagging her in posts. At Mike's birthday thing the next weekend, she showed up anyway. I wasn't there, but Tyler told me about it. Said people literally moved away when she walked into a room. Nobody wanted to talk to her. Nobody wanted to be seen with her. They acted like she was contagious. She tried to laugh it off, apparently. Made some joke about how everyone was being dramatic over nothing. But you could tell it got to her. Tyler said her smile looked forced. Her laugh sounded hollow. She left early, made some excuse about being tired. A couple people came at me, said I was being petty, that airing it out publicly was a dick move, that I should have handled it privately. Rachel sent me a long text about how I should have just broken up with her quietly, how this was cruel and unnecessary. I didn't argue. I just said, you don't expose the truth to be liked. You do it so it's no longer hidden. Most people didn't say anything to my face, but I could tell they agreed with what I did. Guys started treating me different, more respectful maybe, like they understood what I'd been through. A few of Amber's old friends even reached out to apologize, said they had no idea she was like that, said they felt sick knowing they'd enabled her. I didn't want their apologies. I didn't want anything from anyone. I just wanted the truth out there. And now it was. People could do with it what they wanted. Amber was on her own now. And honestly, that felt like exactly where she belonged.
My phone used to blow up every hour. I mean, every single hour. Someone always had plans. Someone always wanted me there. Someone was always asking what I was doing later. Now I check it and there's nothing. Just old notifications I keep rereading like they'll magically change into something new, something that proves people still care. I texted Emily first. She left me on read for 3 days, then sent back, "I don't think we should hang out anymore." Just like that. No explanation, no chance to defend myself, no conversation. I tried Sarah next, blocked. Just straight up blocked like I was some kind of spammer. Megan replied with "seriously," and that was it. One word. The group chat where we used to plan everything. Share memes, talk about our weekends. Dead silent when I type. They're still talking. I can see the messages lighting up, hundreds of them, but the second I contribute it's like I dropped a bomb in there. Complete silence until someone changes the subject. I had to go to Tyler's birthday thing last weekend. I almost didn't. Sat in my car outside for like 20 minutes debating, but I thought maybe in person it'd be different, you know? Like maybe they just needed to see me. Remember, I'm still me. Same Amber they all used to love. I walked into that apartment, and I swear the temperature dropped. Conversations just stopped mid-sentence. People turned their backs to grab drinks, check their phones, literally anything to avoid eye contact. This girl Madison, who I barely even know, who I've maybe spoken to twice, whispered loud enough for half the room to hear, "That's her." Like I was some kind of disease they might catch if they got too close. I tried my usual moves. Laughed a little too loud at someone's joke, touched a guy's arm when I talked to him, even teared up a bit when someone asked how I was doing. Nothing worked. Nothing landed. The guys looked uncomfortable, like they were afraid someone would see them talking to me and assume something. One literally stepped away mid-conversation when his girlfriend walked up, didn't even excuse himself, just walked away like I wasn't standing right there. The girls formed this protective circle around their boyfriends whenever I got close, like I was a predator they needed to guard against. I could feel them watching me, tracking my movements like I was going to pounce the second they looked away. It's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and it hasn't gotten better. It's gotten worse somehow. I keep thinking people will forget, that something else will happen, and everyone will move on to the next scandal, but they haven't. They won't. I posted on Instagram yesterday, just a normal selfie, nothing crazy, the same kind of thing I used to post all the time, and got maybe 15 likes. I used to get hundreds within minutes. The comments that did show up were from people I don't even know, random accounts, and one was just the eyes emoji. Like they were watching me, waiting for me to mess up again, so they could screenshot it and pass it around. One mistake. One fucking mistake, and now I'm radioactive. Why can't they just forget? Why can't I hit reset on all of this and go back to how things were? I apologized. Well, I tried to apologize, but no one would listen. They don't care that I'm sorry. They don't care about my side of things, about how Jason was boring, about how Derek pursued me just as much as I pursued him. They just see what Jason wanted them to see. They see the screenshots, the words ripped out of context, the version of me he wanted them to believe in. His words keep playing in my head, from that night when everything fell apart. He said once a cheater, always a cheater. He said people believe what you show them. And I showed them. I showed them exactly what he wanted them to see. Gift-wrapped it for him in my own stupid words. I'm scrolling through my messages now. 43 unread. Most of them are from before, from when people still wanted me around, still valued my presence. I can't bring myself to delete them. They're evidence that I mattered once, that people liked me. My phone feels lighter these days, quieter. The silence is actually heavy, though, pressing down on me like physical weight. This is what being cut off feels like. Not dramatic, not explosive. Just empty. Just alone. Just invisible. Nobody looks at me anymore. Nobody texts. Nobody cares. I'm a ghost in my own life.